counsel you to make very difficult and painful changes. But I would also tell you at the same time, if it's not part of a bigger package of shared sacrifice, it is completely in vain. It is completely in vain. So you need to give, but you need to give to get others to give. Because if others don't give, literally, number one, there's no amount you can give that will fix it. You can't give enough. And number two, it just offends the basic sensibility to suggest that an institution can be restructured on the backs of only one stakeholder. That's never, ever a successful path to a restructuring. So everyone needs to give. Labor needs to give. Customers need to give. In this entire discussion of saving the Postal Service, not once does anybody observe that we have the most affordable mail in the world. Now, I am not, and I would recommend you not be for raising postal rates. It's not something we want to happen. On the other hand, it doesn't seem unreasonable that if the institution is going out of business and labor is being asked and agreeing that they will make difficult changes, that we should ask the people who benefit from this service to pay for its full cost. That does not seem an unreasonable request. And so without arguing in particular for a rate setting of one sort or another, it's extraordinary to me it's not even on the table. And you have to put it on the table. Now, it's going to get a lot of people angry. The shippers are going to jump up and down and scream. You're going to hurt them. And you know what? From their perspective, they're right. From their perspective, why should they give? They've paid the rates the Postal Service has given them, and they've done it. And they've built their business around that. But they face the same problem you face, which is that if they don't give a little something now, in concert again with a broader plan, there's not going to be a Postal Service in a decade to deliver the packages they need delivered. And so you need to tell them the hard truth too. But because everyone has to participate. And finally, the Congress has to do its part. And here, different than General Motors, you don't need any money. You need absolutely no taxpayer money. All you need is what is already rightfully yours. But you gotta go get it. But you gotta go get it. Because rightful as your cause is, and obvious as the numbers are, whether it's relieving the pre-funding obligation, getting the FERS surplus or the CSRS surplus, as right and clear in black and white as those truths, they're not happening now. That's not what's going on. And so while you don't need a dime of taxpayers' money, you do need to set the books straight. You do need to get what's rightfully yours. Because without that, without relieving the pre-funding burden and getting these surpluses, again, a plan can't come together. So first, there needs to be a financial restructuring, and everybody needs to participate. Second, we need to reimagine the regulatory and oversight structure of the United States Postal Service. And I don't know, and I don't know anybody knows exactly where that leads, but I would argue to you that, again, the status quo ain't working. And so I think the union is better off in an environment where the Postal Service is given the freedom to be run like a business and to compete in the marketplace. Right now, the Postal Service has the worst of both worlds. You're told to make money, or at least to break even, on the one side, and then you're told that you can't act like a business. You can't raise prices, no matter how underpriced your service is. You can't compete. You can't do strategic pricing as any business would. You can't have any real conversation about running it like a business. You put a burden on it with a pre-funding that nobody else bears, and then you're told, gee, this is really surprising when things fail. So I would argue, with that worst of both worlds, I would argue you're way better off facing it head on and saying, look, give us the real freedom to compete. Give us a regulatory structure where we're overseen by businessmen and women who want to win and we'll go out and we'll do okay. Finally, you need a leadership who wants to win. To update the charge against our nation's first postmaster, the Postal Service needs leaders who would proudly want to be charged with actions sympathetic to the Postal Service. How do we get there? How do we get there? Well, it really does. It comes down to you. Someday, someone will write the definitive history of the United States Postal Service. And when they come to the chapter about the crisis at the second decade of the 21st century, the question will be whether that moment marks the beginning of the end of the Postal Service, when the Postal Service began its long slide to oblivion, or will it be the moment when the National Association of Letter Carriers stood up and grabbed the wheel and said, "We will write our own history. We will stand up and save the United States Postal Service." Thank you.